everyone. Welcome to this series, Human Design. How does it feel? This is a series where we look at some of the placements of a human design chart to see how they feel in a specific context, and in this case, mine, so that you can contrast and compare with your human design chart. And we have gone through all the energetic functions and we are on the gate now. And for today, we're going to see 4 gates that I have in my sacral. So we're going into the sacral gates and see how those feel from the inside. So the first gate is gate number 9, which is called focus. And this gate is about the capacity to work in detail-oriented processes that take time to develop. So this is a gate that allow us to have the dedication and the discipline to stay focused on a detail-oriented task that has like different steps and so on to finish. The key here is that we have to cultivate our capacity to have that discipline, to not be distracted if you want. And it only will work if you're doing something, you're focusing on something that you are actually, care about. Like it's not something that you're invested in. And in my life, this has manifested through my capacity to do projects that can be extensive in a way. So I'm just thinking, for example, like the last artistic project I did was, when was the last? Was a documentary, and I was being the editor, the director, and the creator. So I had all the roles because doesn't matter. That's how it was set up. But I had to sit many hours for 3 months to edit the videos and the interviews for the documentary. So I was able, because I was passionate about it, I was able to put the discipline to do that, right? But I have found in my life specifically, it might not be your case, but thinking of how can you actually, make space in your life to stay focused. I, for example, have observed that it's easier for me to be focused if I am like I have dedicated space alone to work. So for example, my dog wants to play. So for example, if I have an office or a home office where I can just shut the door and just work, so that I'm not going to be disturbed, because I can be easily distracted when I'm sharing with people and I care about their needs and I care about what are they doing, and so I get a little bit lost, and it's important for me to kind of like have that capacity to just again shut the door and be like, this is what I'm doing. So things that have worked for me are like schedules. So for example, I'm editing my documentary for 9 to noon, and everyone knows that, so my phone is on silent, my door is closed, and this is the time that I'm dedicated to do this. So things like that I think could help you sustain your focus, because if you get distracted, those tasks that are like long, and like need a lot of little steps will not get finished. So that's important. And that's the gate number 9, that is called focus. The other one, again, in the sacral, this is all the gates today are in the sacral. This is gate 3, ordering. And this is beautiful. These gates tell us that we have the capacity to organize chaotic thought forms and bring them into like an idea that has an application in the world and potentially change the world. So it's like a very I don't know, high stakes kind of gate. It's just beautiful because it allows us to observe all of this kind of apparent chaos, right? And come up with like a sort of theory or concept or a plan or something that would make like some new thing that is helping others. And the more it helps others, the better this gate is serving, and it's open, like it's value, it's given to you. And the thing is here that these things take time, right? Because there's this long process where you're organizing these things, lining them up, you're observing them, you're like, see, what can I do with this? And we can have like impatience, that I just want to like bring this to fruition, and I don't even know what it is, but I just want to do this thing, and like we need to be patient, and the world is gonna hear it when the world is ready. So this is the kind of thing that you might not necessarily, if you put it out in the wrong time, you're not gonna be heard, kind of thing. So you have to be very attuned to your inner, your sacral response, if you're a generator, or like whatever, like ways in which your system is telling you this is the time, right? The beautiful thing with this gate is that it invites us to think, if the stage is open, right? If the person on the stage calls your name, this is your time to share. Are you ready? Are you ready to share what you are here to share? Because this is really, well, as I was telling you, something big. You can change the world for real. And so, are you ready? Have you developed all your skills? Have you followed your heart, your sacral, your authority to learn, to observe, to gather the information that you need? Like, are you ready? And if you are feeling impatient, what can help you to soothe yourself so that you understand that these things take time and that you're going to finally come up with something in the future. So bringing it back home, for me, well, I have always been kind of like an innovative thinker in a way. So the academic kind of work that I do is unusual, it's strange. And it has been received at times and at others not so much. But I think that when the time has come, the doors have opened for me, the stage has opened. So for example, I don't know, the article I wrote about my dissertation was really, in a way, easy to publish, whereas I have many other articles that have been rejected multiple times, and it's just not coming out. That knowledge doesn't want to come out, and I have to be like, okay. So I think things line up when you're ready, and you will share. I also think for many years now, I've been cooking up some sort of thing, project, school of thought, something is cooking, and I know it. And with every time I get a new piece of this knowledge that I'm supposed to be sharing to the world, and it's not ready yet, but it's very close to being ready, and I have to be humble, and I have to be open to whenever finally it comes, right? Fully formed, like when I organize this chaos finally and like put it, this is what I'm offering, and then see what is the right time, right, to put it up. And so I think, yeah, this is like a really beautiful high stakes gate, and the key is that it's difficult at the beginning or maybe in the middle too. And so we have to just trust. If you have this gate open, just trust, activate it. Just trust that you have something to give, and that is big, and it's different, and it's potentially very impactful for the world. And so I'll say that's gate number 3. The next gate, which is also in the sacral, is gate 42. Is the gate called growth. Ooh, this is a gate that allow us to, or like pushes us to processes of transformation and starting things and finishing things so that something starts new. Basically, how I have experienced it in my life is that I have had many versions of me. I have changed tremendously through life, as if I had lifetimes within me, right? Which is not everyone is like that. Some people are pretty stable if you want. They grow for sure, but this thing is like cycles. It's like Pluto is called like Plutonian kind of thing is like coming up for me. It's cycles of death and rebirth almost. Was because when you finish something, it feels like a little death, you know. So this, in my case, in my specific case, oh goodness, I'm just thinking of where I am right now. This is my so I have gone through a cycle of growth through doing my PhD, graduating, having a fellowship, getting the dream job, and now I am called to close this chapter by not staying in that job and starting like a new cycle, a new life, something different. And more than anything else, like I feel like those cycles I have seen them in my life. This is the first time that I have felt so much grief by doing this closure. And the question for us with gate 42 is like, are you holding on to something that is already finished and you like keep clinging on to it because you're not ready to let go? Sometimes I think maybe I cling on to this specific career path maybe for a year too long because yeah, like the payoff for staying was very high for my health and everything. So I feel like yeah, like the question for us is, when you know how to finish things, what needs to finish right now, like what do you need to close? And I think yeah, that's like the thing for me was, okay, I'm not happy in this path, this is killing me, literally my health is like declining, this is not good. And closing this, even though I have a lot of attachment with this job, this prestige, whatever you call it, people think, or you know, or you think. Closing this chapter is opening up space for something new where I'm gonna be way better, happier, more aligned with my path. So it's really relevant. And if you don't close, nothing opens, because you know, I kept feeling that I was putting my energy where I shouldn't be putting it, like literally wasting my energy. Not because the people that I was working with are not important or deserving, but because this is not what I should be, period. And so if you keep putting up your energy in the wrong place, you're just wasting it. And then that energy you can and you could and should be putting it in something that is aligned with you. So I think this is something that, yeah, it's been challenging, I guess. And it's also like a nice, not to say that life is linear, because it's not, you know, it goes in circles and like spirals and whatever, but with this gate, I feel like we grow to a point, we finish something, and then we go and like deepen on the learning. So there is a sort of like an increase, or like a, you know, even if it's circular, but like there is like an accumulation of knowledge that, you know, allow us to expand in ways that are beautiful. So if you have this gate, just know that of yourself and ask yourself if there is something that you need to finish right now. That's gate 42. And the last gate for today, it's gate 34. It's called power. That's another high stakes gate that I was like, wow, I don't know if I can do this. It's called, like, the subtitle is the power of the great. So again, this is how it's framed. But basically, the capacity for us, gate 34 in the sacral, to express our uniqueness, our novelty, our nuanced way of being, right? By following what we really believe in. This can be against what the system tell us, our parents tell us, our friends tell us. So this is like this power comes from within, right? And it can be lonely, definitely can be lonely. And again, like, you can have a lot of contradictory voices about your decisions, and basically, to harness the power that lives within, you have to choose your response, your inner calling, with like trying to not let it be interfered by the external. And the point is that when we allow ourselves to express our uniqueness, we achieve greatness. Which I know, like, this sounds like so, I don't know, weird in our society of like, oh, I'm great or whatever. But basically, for me, it's just to be the greatest that you can be, that you have a gem, right? That is very specific of you. This gem has a specific color, a specific shape, a specific characteristic of itself, and when you allow that uniqueness to grow, to expand, to be, then you achieve that greatness status that is only for you. And so and obviously, as we saw in other gates, our uniqueness, truly, like, spiritually speaking, would always be connected to the greater good, right? So I think that it's important, if you have the gate 32 activated, to understand that your independence, your uniqueness, your novelty, it's always connected to your path, and it's always connected in a way to service. It can make you rich, sure, but the point is here that you are aligning your higher self, your inner self, your ego, towards that uniqueness that is loving towards the world. So, the potential of greatness, it's tied to the common good in a way, Um, and I think the difficulty might be surprise to wait, because these things take time, same as we saw in the gate number 3. So what fear comes up when we feel like we need to wait to respond, to show our uniqueness? In my life, I felt that if I don't show who I am right away, or like in specific ways that are more fear based, I'm going to be forgotten or unseen or abandoned even. So sometimes I think I have thought that I have my greatness achieved, and it really needs more time to simmer. But the fear of not being seen pushes me to, yeah, to show the gem, to show when it's not ready, right? So that's something really hard. If our society always tell us to do, go, 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 when you have to wait, especially because my sacral response, you have to wait and see and be patient and deal with the fears when you have to wait. And I really don't know how, this is a little heady on the cloud, and I don't know exactly how to bring it home, other than telling you, for example, that for many, but for my whole life, I think I've worked in being compassionate with others. I'm not there yet fully, because I'm a human, being compassionate with myself and others, but I can see how with time that gem has grown and developed and opened to a point where some of the interactions that I have with people right now are very healing, just very magical, very heart-based, heart-led. And that is my uniqueness. I want slowness, I want boundaries, I want consent, I want nurturing, I don't want spaces that are harsh. I don't want people telling other people that they're wrong, that they're not enough, that they're, I want this big well of compassion towards myself and others. That's part of my uniqueness, and more I have been able to share that with the world. So again, like, the idea of greatness is nothing, in my case, for example, with this specific trend, to be the most compassionate I can be. That is my greatness. One of my greatness, I guess. I hope I have more. So, think about it in that way. Yeah. I think it's beautiful, and I hope all of us who have this gate use it again for the common greatest good of all. So those are the gates that I have activated in my sacral. I hope you liked the description of them. And again, if you want to share your experience, please just send me an email or comment on the video. I'm always happy to hear what are you experiencing yourself. Wishing you a good day after the solstice, and happy summer and happy Cancer season. I'll see you next week. Bye.